What's going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weer. I love talking about movies, and we've made it to the second month of 2026. February of 2026 is here, and as always on this channel, with a brand new month comes a brand new slate of movies, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, I'm going to talk about all of the brand new upcoming movie releases for February of 2026 that are on my personal radar. These are the movies that I plan on checking out on opening weekend, but as always, there might be a movie or two that I leave off of this list, whether it's going to streaming or it's a limited release. So if there is something that I leave off of this list that you're excited about, well, let me know about that movie in the comment section down below. Let me know why you're excited about it and why I should check it out. And before getting into the February movies, if this is the first time you found my channel, well, I would love for you guys to hit that subscribe button, check out all the different content that I have. Whether you like movie reviews, Blu-ray talk, or even ranked list videos, I've got a little bit of everything on my channel, and I'd love for you guys to check it out. All right, let's get into February of 2026 brand new movie releases.
Here we go.
That is one big pile of shit.
No, I shot him. Bullets in the fall killed him.
Coming out on the first weekend of the month, on February 6th, we have 4 brand new movies to talk about. The first one is called Dracula. Yeah, that's right, we're getting a brand new retelling of Dracula in February. Kind of a weird time to drop it. Hopefully it's a good horror movie and not something the studio is just dumping in the winter. But we get a brand new look at Dracula, and this time around, Christoph Waltz will be playing a priest that's trying to track down Dracula throughout the film. That's really all I know about it. I think I saw one preview for this, and honestly, if there's a showing near my house, I'll probably check it out on opening weekend. The next movie coming out on February 6th is another horror flick. This one is called Whistle, and Whistle is about a group of teenagers that find this ancient death whistle, and because they're teenagers and they make dumb decisions, well, they decide to blow into this death whistle, and now death is coming for all of them. The previews for this movie look like your average winter horror flick, just teenagers doing dumb stuff. Of course, they find this ancient whistle, and now death is coming for them. There's going to be a bunch of jump scares in this movie. Honestly, I don't have high hopes for it, but it could be a fun time, so I'll probably try to check this out on opening weekend. Are you interested in checking out Whistle? There's one more horror film to talk about coming out on February 6th, and it's the end of a trilogy, thank God, and it is The Strangers Chapter 3. Listen, when the first Strangers movie came out, I tried to give that movie a little bit of a pass. Yeah, it was a bad copy-paste of the original Strangers film, but I was hoping they needed that base to then move forward with something fresh and unique throughout the franchise. And then we got The Strangers Chapter 2 last year, and that movie was absolutely abysmal. The whole movie felt like filler, like they didn't really have a plot for what they were trying to do between part 1 and part 3, so the whole film just feels like a really drawn-out chase scene. And then for whatever god-awful reason, they were like, oh, we should give the strangers a backstory, especially the one with the porcelain face mask, and she should also have a reason for why she always asks, is Tamra home? Nobody wanted to know why she was always asking that. There was no reason to give us any sort of backstory. The whole idea of the strangers is that they're strangers to the people in the film, and they're strangers to you, the viewer. You don't know their backstory. They're just these killers that want to kill people because they're at their homes. But no, we got a backstory. That movie was awful. One of the worst movies I saw all year. And so now we're getting The Strangers Chapter 3. And this is just a continuation of what they've been doing with the girl who managed to live in the first movie and then managed to survive the 90-minute chase scene that was The Strangers Chapter 2. I'm not particularly looking forward to this movie. I will see it if there's a convenient showtime, but based on all of the movies I've talked about so far, I'd rather see those movies than see The Strangers Chapter 3. So it's on this list because it is probably the biggest release of the weekend. I don't know if I'm going to take the time to see it. Are you going to take time to watch The Strangers Chapter 3? The fourth and final movie coming out on February 6th is called Solo Mio. This film stars Kevin James as a character named Matt Taylor, and if that sounds familiar at all, well then you probably use the TikTok app, because a while ago there was a TikTok account with a guy claiming to be named Matt Taylor, but he looked a whole lot like Kevin James. But this guy was doing art, talking about art class, how he was a teacher, and people didn't know what the hell he was doing with his TikTok account. but it got a lot of views and a lot of eyes on his Matt Taylor project, whatever it was going to be. And now it's revealed that there's a film called Solo Mio where you have this guy named Matt Taylor who was left at the altar in Rome, and now he has to go on a journey of self-discovery. Now here's the thing. This isn't necessarily a movie I would seek out, although I am a big fan of Kevin James, but because of what he was able to do with TikTok with his Matt Taylor account, well, that really just piques my interest as to what this movie is going to be about. So I don't have a ton of hope for this film, but of all the movies I've talked about on this list, this is probably the one I will check out first on February 6th. That brings me to the second weekend of the month, February the 13th, and that would be Friday the 13th. And yet again, we have another Friday the 13th happening where we're not getting a Friday the 13th film. What is wrong with the people that own the rights to this franchise? Why can't they figure out that every single time there's a Friday the 13th on the calendar, we should be getting a new Friday the 13th movie? I know they're working on a Crystal Lake TV show, and this is just a rant at this point, but I want another Friday the 13th movie. We have 3 Friday the 13ths in 2026, and we're not going to get a single brand new movie on any of those dates in the Friday the 13th franchise, and that's a travesty. But let's talk about the movies that are actually coming out on February 13th. The first movie to talk about on February 13th is called Crime 101. This movie stars Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, and Mark Ruffalo, and in this film, Chris Hemsworth plays an elusive thief that's managed to evade the police up to this point, and he's doing his last job, but he's doing it with an insurance broker that's played by Halle Berry, while Mark Ruffalo plays a police officer that's hot on his tail, trying to stop him once and for all. The previews for this look fine. It looks like it's going to have a little bit of action in it, some heist energy to it, so I hope this is a fun time. We'll see. The second film coming out on February 13th is called Cold Storage. This film is about a parasitic fungus that makes its way into the ground, and then as temperatures start to rise, it starts to come to the surface and then infect humans and animals, and it looks like a body horror film. This might be a B movie, but it's a B movie that stars Liam Neeson, and that does pique my interest. I hope that Cold Storage is a fun time. The third film coming out on February 13th, just in time for the Valentine's holiday, is Wuthering Heights. Now, this is a new retelling of this classic romance story, and it stars both Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie. Not a movie that I would rush out to go see on opening weekend personally, although there's probably a lot of people that want to see this retelling, especially with Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie. My wife is one of those people, and since this comes out on the Valentine's weekend, that's when we'll be seeing this movie, so I will check this out on opening weekend, but mostly for her, because it's Valentine's Day. And the final film coming out on February 13th is a film called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. This film stars Sam Rockwell, who claims to be a man from the future who takes a bunch of people inside of a diner hostage, saying he needs them for a battle in the future. And that's really the only synopsis I have for you. I will say that the marketing for this movie hasn't been great. The trailers haven't really done it for me personally. However, the word of mouth from this movie, whether it's from festivals last year or people who've seen it this year and they've just seen it a little bit earlier, well, that word of mouth is insane. People say it's a great film. I can't wait to check this movie out. I'm going to try to double feature Wuthering Heights and this movie to sort of balance out strictly romance film and then sci-fi adventure, but we'll see. Good luck, have fun, don't die, comes out on February 13th, and I'm really looking forward to it. That brings us to the third weekend of the month. On February 20th, we have 2 more films to talk about. The first one is How to Make a Killing. This film stars Glenn Powell as a man who was disowned at birth by his very wealthy family, and so because he was disowned, well, he has no way of getting all of the inheritance money from that wealthy family, and that's where he starts to plot a way to get his inheritance by any means necessary, and that means killing all of the relatives that stand in his way. The film is billed as a thriller comedy, so this isn't a horror movie in any way, but based on the trailer, there's going to be a lot of deaths, and it's going to be Glenn Powell's character just trying to make his way towards that inheritance. The film does look fun. I'll probably double feature this with the other film that we have to talk about that's opening on this weekend, and that film is called Psycho Killer. Psycho Killer looks intense, it looks gory, and this This is a film about a woman whose husband was killed by a serial killer. She then goes after that serial killer, but the things that she uncovers are absolutely disturbing. The trailers for this movie have been disturbing. The word of mouth from people that have seen this movie has been disturbing, and I'm really hoping for a really good gory time out of this horror flick. That brings us to the final weekend in February, February 27th, where we have two more movies to talk about. The first one is going directly to streaming, directly to Amazon Prime, and it's called The Bluff. The Bluff stars Priyanka Chopra as a girl who used to be a pirate. She got out of that pirate life. She now lives a very quiet life until one day that quiet life is shattered by another pirate played by Karl Urban. He's a very vengeful captain. He's coming after her and her family, and she'll have to defend her family against him. And honestly, we talk about a pirate adventure film and Karl Urban in the same story. Well, I'm in. I can't wait to check this movie out. And the other movie coming out on February 27th is from my top 10 most anticipated movies list of 2025, and it is Scream 7. I can't wait for this movie. I'm a huge fan of the Scream franchise. It is my favorite slasher franchise. Scream 1 is my favorite slasher movie, and throughout the month of February, I'll be watching and reviewing all of the Scream films on my channel leading up to the release of Scream 7, and I can't wait for this thing. Of course, Kevin Williamson is not only writing this film, but directing this movie as well, where he's written several of the Scream films in the past. He's now directing this one too, and that's pretty cool. But this film is bringing back so many characters from the past, but the one I'm most excited about is Stu Macher. This film is bringing Stu back. It's bringing back Matthew Lillard. And as someone who's always wanted Stu to return to the Scream franchise, to wear that Ghostface outfit one more time, to go against Sydney at least one more time, well, that gets me all kinds of excited. I am very much so looking forward to Scream 7. This will be an opening night movie for sure. I may even see it twice that weekend. I'm very excited for Scream 7. And guys, those are all the brand new movies that are coming out in February of 2026 that are on my personal radar. Are you guys excited for any of these films? If you are, throw those in the comments section down below. And finally, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button because it helps the video, it helps the channel, and it helps me right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys, we made it to the end of my February 2026 brand new movies video. I love doing these videos because I get to talk about all my anticipation for these upcoming movies. And don't forget that throughout the month, I'll be dropping quick reactions to all the movies that I watch, and I'll be doing full movie reviews for as many of these as I can. And of course, I've got that Scream franchise review series that's going to be running throughout the entire month of February. So be on the lookout on my channel for all of that content. But until that time, if you want to check out any of the other content on my channel, well, I've got all of my movie night videos right there, and I've got all of my 2026 movie reviews right there.